A very good evening. It's Saturday the 15th of September and welcome to a brand new edition of Weekend Primetime News. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. First, let's take a look at the stories making headlines tonight. An RP venue and RP housing scheme handed over to war heroes. TNA says they are ready to consider the formation of a national government. Sarath Fonseca says that he will establish a new political party. Minister of Higher Education says that the university teachers' crisis will be resolved within 2 days. Sri Javardhanapura Kotte is the capital of the country. Development activities are currently underway to convert into an attractive location.
Those of you who travel passing the premises surrounding the Diyawanoya in Battaramulla may have noticed soldiers being engaged in some construction activities day and night. There, this task is coming to an end with one phase of it being open to the public. The premises named Diyatha Park, which was open for the public today, includes an exercising strip and has been decorated by varieties of flowers. The park includes ponds, exercising strips as well as 84 stalls selling various types of plants. The construction activities of the park has been conducted by the Sri Lanka Land Reclamation and Development Corporation, which comes under the purview of the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development. The construction activities have been carried out with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Army and the Civil Security Department under the supervision of the Secretary to the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Issuing a release, the Sri Lanka Land Reclamation and Development Corporation says that the park was constructed in order to develop the tourism industry.
The Gampaha district scheme of the RP venue and RP housing project, which was initiated for the welfare of war heroes, was vested in war heroes by President Mahinda Rajapaksa today. 60 houses were handed over to war heroes in this manner today.
It was the 10th step of the RP venue and RP project that was unveiled today. President Mahinda Rajapaksa also gave away school equipment for children and kitchen utilities for these houses. According to the President's media unit, the Rakna Lanka Institute handed over a donation of 5 million rupees for the RP venue and RP fund to the President. Subsequent to the function, President also declared open the 3-story building of the CWW Kannangara Central College in Hunumulla.
A basic understanding with the SLMC about farming and administration. They also note that a final decision in this regard will be reached by Monday. The SLMC meanwhile announced that they will arrive at a final decision during the weekend. A meeting was scheduled to take place between the TNA and SLMC yesterday. However, the meeting did not take place. Yes, there was supposed to be a meeting. However, as Rauf Hakim got late to come back from a meeting at Temple Trees, they informed us that the meeting could not be held. We are not aware of such a development. We will not believe it until they say it to us.
මුස්ලිම් කොංග්‍රසයේ නායකතුමාට කිසිදු සදාචාරයක් නැහැ ආණ්ඩුවත් එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා සාකච්ඡා කරන්න.
It is unethical for the leader of the SLMC to engage in discussions with the government. It is an act of betrayal. He had promised Sambandhan to meet him at 7 p.m. yesterday. Sambandhan waited till 8:30. He is a senior Tamil leader and he is also very sick. Even then, he waited for 1.5 hours to see if Rauf Hakim would honour his appointment. By that time, he had gone behind the government. On behalf of Hakim, I apologize to Mr. Sambandhan. He had a responsibility to call him and tell him that he won't make it and that he is going to sell his people to the government. However, the TNA has not given up hopes of establishing power in the East.
ඔබතුමාලා පිළිගන්නවද කිසියම් ආකාරයකින් රවුට් හකීම් මන්ත්‍රීතුමා ඇමතිතුමා පැමිණිලා ඔබ සමග කිසියම් සභාවයකට එයි කියලා?
අපි තවත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ වෙයි කියලා. ඒක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන කාරණා දෙකක් තියෙනවා.
We expect him to do so because of two reasons. When he was campaigning, he berated the government. That is why he received so many votes. He said that he would have been ashamed if he contested under the beetle leaf. He also said that he could face the people because he did not contest under it. Even now, the Muslim community urges him to join hands with us. We are confident that they will take the right decisions.
අපි තවත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා with confidence that ඒගොල්ලෝ හරි තීන්දුව ගනි කියලා.
මුස්ලිම් කොංග්‍රසයත් එක්ක මූලික අවබෝධයකට කැමියා කියලා. ඊයේ පස්වර තමයි සම්දාන මහලේකම්වරයන් ප්‍රකාශ කරේ. එතකොට මූලික අවබෝධයකට කැමියා කියන එක දැන් මුස්ලිම්වරුත් එක්ක මූලික අවබෝධයකට කැමිලා තියෙනවා මුස්ලිම් කොංග්‍රසය.
We do not understand what a basic understanding is. The SLMC has not informed us of anything as yet. This proves that the SLMC continues to remain the decisive factor in the tussle to gain control of the Eastern Provincial Council.
In related news, the Tamil National Alliance today stated that if the President forwards a proposal for a formation of a national government, they are ready to consider it.
අපි ලේසියෙන් මේ මිනිස්ටර්ෂිප් කීප් මිනිස්ටර්ෂිප් වලට අපි ලේසියෙන් යන්නේ මිනිසු නෙවෙයි.
We are not the kind of people who could be easily bought by chief ministerial posts. I will not respond to Susil Premajayanta, Keheliya Rambukwella or Dala Salaha Peruma. If the President expresses his willingness to hold discussions, then I am ready to talk to him. I will answer any of his questions directly.
ඒ වෙලාවේ ඒ ප්‍රශ්නෙට එයා අහන්නේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට මන්ත්‍රීට උත්තර දෙනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා යම් එක්ක දාගෙන ආව මහත්මිකව සහ එහෙම දෙනවා කියලා උතුමාලා කැමති කියන්නේ.
මේක මහාමතික ධූරය ගැන නෙමෙයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ.
We are not talking about the chief ministerial position. What we mean is that if the President initiates the need to form a national government, then we will consider it.
ආවනම් අපි ඒක නිකම්ම ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්නේ. අපි ඒක ගැන සලකා බලමු.
Several Tamil political party leaders expressed views about the Tamil National Alliance views about a national government.
I heard from the media that the group, including parliamentary group leader of TNAR Sambandhan, has expressed willingness to enter a national government if they receive an invitation. I am astounded to hear something like this. When we were to go to a parliamentary select committee, the TNA completely opposed it. They said that there need to be political devolution of power and that North and the East should be one province. They said many things about the rights of the Tamil people. This government did not give any of this. First they said they need to finish the war. Even after the war, they are yet to give the political rights of the Tamil people. Therefore, they need to express their true intentions to the public. We consider such a decision to be a decision that betrays the Tamil people. So far, the minorities lived with much difficulty. Many people died and property was lost. Those days, there were many benefits behind a national government. However, it is not the case anymore. Coming to such a decision at this juncture just to form an administration in the eastern province is a ridicule of our people.
Time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day. The Colombo stock market saw upward gains over the last few days, resulting in the benchmark ASPI recording a 2.59% growth at close of trading yesterday. Tonight, on our special segment, Barbarians at the CSE, we speak to market analysts about adverse repercussions of bumped-up stocks being offloaded to public institutions. History has shown that this practice can devastate both the market and investors alike.
Barbarians at the CSE.
Experts and analysts alike have highlighted the possibility of an ongoing pump and dump practice at the Colombo Stock Exchange.
There are penny stocks, useless shares being the price being driven up by members of the mafia. Essentially, A buys from B at say 20 rupees, then B buys again from A at 30 rupees, then again A buys from B at 40 rupees and so on. So what is happening is a small parcel of shares being transferred among a small group of people. But the outside, the small investor is thinking, look, this price is going up. So he's in the expectation of making a lot of money down the road, is buying into these shares. So this is still in the pumping stage. This is the pumping. What happens is, at a certain point, when the price has reached what the mafia expects it to, then they will start selling. So that is the dumping stage, which hasn't still happened. When that happens, the small investors will be stuck with a large amount of shares that has no real value.
As these market watchers pointed out, the current upward trend seen at the Colombo boards could be the result of a small group of market manipulators involved in the artificial pumping of certain shares, only to dump them on either hapless investors or state institutions trading on the floor. Dr. Harsha De Silva, who has continuously warned regulators of this unhealthy practice, spoke on how these shares, which have been artificially inflated, might be loaded off.
The funny thing though is the share that has gained the most from 213 3 days ago to 480, that is an increase of over 125%. The third largest shareholder of that particular company is no other person than the chairman of the SEC, Dr. Nalaka Godaheva himself. So these are issues that people wonder how they happen. And also, only 87 shares had changed hands on Friday, when it increased by 50%. What we have to watch out now is who's going to be buying these shares that have been artificially pumped up. Will it again be EPF, the Insurance Corporation, or NSB like it happened in the past, or will they dump it on unsuspecting investors? Either way, we will be watching.
United National Party parliamentarian Eran Bikumratna shared these sentiments.
From our past experience, we should sound a word of caution. When the share price index has been artificially being pushed up, government funds have been involved. It may be the government banks, it may be the EPF, it may be the ETF, the National Savings Bank, and so forth. And what happens in a situation of artificial manipulation is that those connected, well connected, the so-called mafia could unload their losses on government institutions, turning themselves back into profitability. When that happens, it is those who have invested their life savings in those government funds or put their savings in those national banks, those are the ones who can lose out, because the losses will be transferred to those government institutions, and the small investor could suffer. So when we see an artificial move in the all share price index, it's a time to be cautious to see whether these are transparent moves, whether they are sustainable over a period of time before we actively participate in the share market.
The Colombo Stock Exchange is an important barometer by which the nation's economy is gauged by international investors. Allegations of impropriety and manipulation cannot be ignored. According to market analysts, the reputation of Sri Lanka's position as a nation set for accelerated economic growth rests on the shoulders of sound regulation that could curb manipulation and promote healthy, sustainable growth.
Barbarians at the sea.